Welcome to this video. Today we are trying to have a look at rural India, the debt, the farmers and their life. Part of the science. People need wages to meet their basic needs. People need wages to meet their basic needs. People have to work to earn a living. People have to work to earn a living. Most Indians live in villages and not all villagers own land. So Indian villagers work for large farmers or take land on lease or work as farm help. Also, some villagers are artisans. Some work for allied industries. Farming is not possible around the year. So we all need money to meet our basic needs. We need to work to earn a living. Most Indians live in villages and not all villagers own land. So not everybody is a farmer. So people work for large farmers or take the land on lease or work as farm help. Some villagers are artisans. Some work for allied industries like sugar mill or rice mill. Farming is not possible around the year. Farming is not possible around the year because in India, agriculture is dependent mostly on monsoon. In India, agriculture is dependent mostly on monsoon. And many villagers do not have work throughout the year. So if there is 6 months monsoon, you will have 6 months work in the farm. Thereafter, you may not have work. They do not have enough savings for special events. So because farmers do not earn a lot of money, they do not have a lot of savings. They don't have enough money for special events. Also, they may not earn enough to save for the future. Their salary is not enough or their wages are not enough. They do not earn a lot of money to save. So for special events, they may not have enough money. What are the special events? Maybe a marriage, maybe somebody falls sick, maybe somebody has to go for higher education. So villagers have to borrow. Many of the villagers have to borrow money. Because to meet the expenses when there is no wage, to meet the expenses when there is no savings, villagers have to borrow the money. Many times they work for the money lender. And sometimes small farmers lose their land if the loan is not repaid. Small farmers lose their land if the loan is not repaid. What is debt? When you borrow, you take a loan from someone with a promise to repay at a later date and with some interest. This is a debt. When you borrow and take a loan from someone with a promise to repay at a later date with some interest, it is a debt. Many times people who borrow money become indebted for life due to high rates of interest to be paid. So if you borrow 100 and if you say you will pay interest 10%, that means you will have to pay 100 plus 10% is 10. So 110 you have to repay. But many times this interest is so high that whatever you repay goes towards interest and the principal or the main money remains outstanding, remains as a loan. So when you borrow, you take a loan from someone with a promise to repay at a later date with some interest. When this interest is too high, it becomes very difficult for the person to repay the money. The moneylender also helps to get some work. Sometimes the moneylender also helps to get some work. Many people today take a loan and give their children to the moneylender to be used to put to work till the loans get repaid in rural places like a bangle factory or a brick kiln or a fiber earth mucking. This is why you have studied child labor happens in a lot of places like firework or a brick kiln, and because of child labor people are not able to go to school, and because of that illiteracy, that is not knowing to read or write, continues, and because of that poverty, that is people remain poor. So because of illiteracy, poverty is there. Because of poverty, illiteracy is there. And because of this too, the population growth is there. So though India is endowed with many resources, this population growth is creating some problems here and there. And because people are poor in the rural area, people don't have enough savings, they have to borrow. And to repay the interest or the loan, one way is to work for the money lender. But most people take loan during off season and pay off during on season when they get paid or sell off the harvest. Not everybody suffers because of loan. They take loan during off season, that is when there is no work, and they repay when they get the work. For example, 6 months of monsoon farming, after the farming when they harvest, the money they get they use to repay the loan. The loans are either for wedding in the family or higher education of children or to celebrate festivals, or many times for medical expenses. When you become seriously sick, when you go to an hospital and you have to stay there for some time, you need a lot of money. So people take loan. Money is also borrowed when the breadwinner is sick and cannot work. Suppose there is only one person who is going to work and that person is sick, so he will not get wages. When he does not get money to meet the basic needs, the family has to borrow. If the family has no other means of resources to pay for the food, clothing and shelter. Many families live as a joint family, and so the families support each other with money, be it for festivals or whatever. Sometimes the family pools resources to repay the loans. Sometimes people take loan from formal sector like banks. But mostly the local moneylender or the landlord is the person from whom the villagers take loan. Many families live as a joint family, they help each other. Maybe they give money to build a house, or when you fall sick they give money, or they give money for celebrating the festival. Sometimes a family pools the resources to repay the loan a person has taken. Suppose a person falls sick and is not able to repay the loan. The family will give a temporary loan. When you have a family loan, it is without interest. But when you take a loan from a bank or a money lender, you have to pay the interest. It is difficult to get loan from the bank if you don't have security, if you don't have a land, if you don't have a good reputation, it is difficult. So people take money from money lender. But what is the problem? The problem with money lender loan is interest will be too high. Okay. So this is family's help, and the money lenders will take higher loan, banks will take lesser loan. People try to find work in the neighboring villages when it is off season. So when people cannot find work or enough wage to pay back the loan, they move to urban areas to find work if they have lost their land. As more people move to towns from villages, it causes strain on the urban infrastructure like road, water, electricity, housing, hygiene, etc. Slums develop and sometimes breed anti-social elements and illegal activities. When a lot of people come to town, the town will not have capability to meet the needs of so many people. They may not get work, they may not get housing, they may not get enough wages, because if so many people are there, the wages will be less because there is more demand for work. So many people will be without work. So the hygiene, the quality of the toilets, the quality of the water, the availability of electricity, the crowd on the road, the crowd on the bus and train, all this will cause problems to the town when so many people move to the town. But why do people move to town? Because there is no work in their own village or in neighboring villages. So this is the reason. So why people have to work? Because many times they lost their land. Farmer suicides. Small farmers take loan to buy seeds, fertilizer, etc. In case of a drought or a famine, they lose all the assets. If there is a drought, if the monsoon does not happen, or if the irrigation is not enough and the crop fails, then they cannot have any harvest. They do not make money. They cannot repay the loan. If the loan is not repaid, the moneylender will forfeit the land. Moneylender will take the land away. Moneylender will take the small farmer's land away. If they lose the land, they cannot do farming anymore. And so the family loses the source of livelihood. This was the land on which the family was farming, and based on that they were getting their food, clothing and shelter. Now the family loses the land, they lose their livelihood. Many farmers commit suicide, that is kill themselves, because they are not able to repay the loan or save their farm. Small farmers who take loan for seeds and fertilizer, if the crop fails, if there is a drought, if they are not able to repay the loan, and if the situation arises where the moneylender will take away the land, many farmers commit suicide by killing themselves. Many times the whole family kill themselves because they don't have means to earn more money in future. What is the solution for this? What is required is that we have to safeguard the farms, farming and farmers, because they are the one who provide food for all of us. Providing quality seeds, we have to provide irrigation, we have to provide fertilizer. All this the government is trying to do. Government is trying to build canals and dams. Government is trying to give quality seeds at cheaper price. Government is trying to give fertilizer in all villages. Then we have to provide adequate value for the farm produce. Government is fixing minimum support price for wheat or rice or sugarcane, etc. So adequate value for the farm produce so that the farmer does not incur a loss. We have to provide loans at affordable rates of interest. The government is trying to give crop loan for agriculture at concessional rate. Government is trying to give agricultural insurance at concessional rates. All that the government is trying. Providing alternative employment opportunities during off season. This is the most important thing. During monsoon, people will do some work. Either they cultivate on their own farm or work for other farmers. But during off season, we have to find some way to provide employment to them so that they get wages and they are able to buy food, clothing and shelter. Relieving farmers from moneylenders is very important. This can be done if alternative sources of loans are made available. So this is about farmers and farmland. Farmers suffer because rains are not adequate or because they are not able to repay the loan by not having alternative employment opportunities. So we have to help farmers and farmland because they bring food to our table. Thanks for watching this video.